Hello, everybody. How's it going? It's me, Comic Crack. Um, I hit some dollar bins today, and I wanted to share that stuff with you. We're leaving Sunday for our camping trip. So tomorrow is kind of getting out all the bins, checking everything out. I didn't read a damn thing this week. I had intentions to, and it just didn't happen. Yeah, it just didn't happen. Let's do this a little bit. Doesn't drop. Um, Hello, Miss So. How are you? So, got myself a couple of more things to bring on the trip, reading wise. Thanks to huge shout out to Rasa, who kind of did some looking for this and saw that it had come out. I don't know if she had found a hard copy version, but this is from DC Black Label. I found Sandman the Dream Hunters, so I don't need to hunt for that fourth issue. I now have it in here, and there's a bunch of extras in here, including like character design and things. So soft cover. It would be nice to have a hardcover, but I don't care that much. All of the covers reproduced in there, and it looks like the coloring is beautiful in it. I had a good look through it before I grabbed it, just to make sure that they didn't do some recoloring fuckery. And it doesn't look like it. I mean, I haven't sat and compared it directly to the single issues, but by what I remember, that looks about the same to me. So that's very cool. I'm a big Serenity and Firefly fan. I haven't read a ton of the comics, but this one it was a mini series following Wash, the pilot Wash, going through kind of his past. There's a few different artists in here too. The one of the things that does kind of turn me off of some of these books is the artwork. This one looks pretty good. They've got a few different artists working in it. Chris Samney worked on some Serenity Firefly stuff. He did a few issue miniseries, so that was good. But for the most part, this looks good. It does start entering that kind of territory that I'm not as crazy about. This doesn't look horrible, but I don't know, man. I love the universe. I love the stories. The few books that I've read. Hey, Colin, loading the cannon. How are you? The few comics that I've tagged. The few comics that I've read from Serenity Firefly, they've been mostly good. There was one that wasn't the greatest. I ended up, it's in the for trade pile. I can't remember what the heck it was called now. So I'd like to dig into this a little bit more. So we'll give that a read while we're out there camping. I did plan to sit down. For some reason, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance #8 wasn't in my box the last time I went. So I went back to that same shop, to Galaxy, to grab #9, and made sure that I grabbed a copy of #8. This was actually the last issue that they had of #9 in there. So I'm glad I got it. I've been hearing a couple of things. I haven't really, it's just uncanny to me how much he looks like that fat fuck that was Trump's manager. I don't even know. Wrestling manager. I have no idea. Whatever that prick's name was. It kind of looks like him. So I've heard a couple of things about these two issues. So I haven't read them. These won't be coming camping with me. I'll just kind of check them out when I get back. Steve Bannon. That's who it looks like. So there was a link, a notice, message. There was a message from one of the Facebook comic groups that I'm a part of, the Winnipeg ones. A guy named Dan, who has a place, Madcat Comics, which is located at Thirsty's Flea Market, which is this direction from us. It's about a 2-minute drive from us, actually. He had a whole bunch of new dollar bin boxes, long boxes, filled to the brim with dollar books. So I made it down there. I missed the rush, which is kind of good because it's a pretty small space. he had been kind of loading the boxes as well too. When people were taking a bunch of stuff, he would just dump a bunch more stuff in there. So I think he did. I hope he did pretty well today. He had a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of like Marvel and DC stuff. But the thing with the dollar bins is you flip through, you're going to find some oddities. I was able to fill in some gaps in some collections, which is great. One of those, just to start off with, is the Nas. I found the final 2 issues of that. Yeah, so that's great. Yeah, I bet they are. Yeah, there was a few places that were having Canada Day sales as well. I didn't make it to those. We had a party for one of the neighbors, a birthday party that we went to. So yeah, now I've got all 4 of these. We'll see how that is. That might be something that I can bring with me, at least to read in the car on the way there, because we're taking my wife's vehicle. I love the drive out to Caliper Lake. I don't mind it. It's about 4-hour drive or so. I love driving in general, but now that we've been taking her vehicle on more long trips, I'm kind of enjoying being a passenger too. So it's a kind of a nice change. They only had 2 of the 3 issues of this. Yeah, that Talbot art in that Nas is pretty fantastic. I agree. It's just a series. This is a series that I've always heard about. Rasa had read it. I don't even know how long ago at this point, because she was talking about it on our chat. Something that I've always kept my eye out for. To sort of find 2 of the 3 in the dollar bins is great. This is Green Arrow, the Longbow Hunters. So I'm really looking forward to these. I think these will come with me for sure. I love the interiors too, like even those back. Thank you very much. Yeah, we absolutely will. It's going to be a blast. Some really good looking stuff. You know, maybe not the violence so much, but I love this almost like pencil crayon kind of feel to things here. Like that's a really killer page there. So yeah, 2 out of the 3 anyway. I'll keep my eyes open. I'm sure the 3rd will pop up at some point. Filling in a couple of gaps from Eclipse Comics. Not a big fan of this. It is Mike Grell again though, because it was Mike Grell on this too. Yeah, it is Mike Grell again on 007. I had the first issue of this for the longest time, and I never really made it a priority. I don't hate James Bond. I'm not a huge James Bond fiend. But now that I have all 3, I may give this a try, may give it a read. There's just some stuff that when you're trying to get everything from a publisher, you're going to get stuff that maybe you're not as interested in. Yeah, there you go. So the 3 of that, and especially to find them for so cheap. I read Grell's whole run on Green Arrow a couple of years ago. Fun read. Excellent. Well, that's good. So how many issues? I guess he did like a volume. I don't know. I'm assuming it was a chunk of a volume at that time. This was a pretty exciting find. Dave Cooper from Adventure Comics. You Control the Action, interactive comics featuring Dudley Sirius and the Dungeon of Doom. So I've never seen this before. I've never heard of this interactive comics. I guess it's like a choose your own. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it totally is a choose your own adventure. So you get to the end of the page and you can decide where you're going to go. This is still in his noodly kind of era as far as his art goes. Holy shit, 80 issues. Awesome. Well, that's good. This will be a good taste test to see if I dig it. So he's still in this kind of era of his yeah, I've never seen this before either. I've never, it was a nice surprise to see it. So I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit. I love the old gaming books. I love those choose your own adventure stuff. I've got fighting fantasy books that I've, did even last year. I did a couple of them last year or the year before. I don't remember, but yeah, so some early Dave Cooper again. What year is this one from? Holy shit, that's small print. This is 1990, actually later than I thought. So starts on the inside front cover. Yeah, they're really fantastic. Issue number 1 from the 1993 Black Orchid. I have that mini series and I really dug it. So issue number 1 for $1. He didn't have any other issues, unfortunately, or none that I saw anyway. But I decided to grab this. Who's the team on this one? Let's get to proper credits. Dick Foreman, writer. Jill Thompson, penciler. Stan Woke, inker. Clem Robbins, letterer. So there's our good kind of title page there. Really liked the previous Black Orchid stuff. I don't know how this is going to be, but why the hell not? How often are you going to find a number 1 issue? It feels like those are the first things to get picked up from the dollar bins, even if people don't like the book. So kind of a surprise. And then kind of in the same vein from DC, Phantom Stranger, Secret Origins issue. I dig the Phantom Stranger. If this was any more than $1, I wouldn't have picked it up. This is a pretty beefy issue too, so looking forward to digging into this one. Who do we have on a team here? Mike Barr is the writer, Jim Aparo, artist, Tom Zwico, colorist. Here we go. And finally finished volume 3 of Call of the Conqueror. So this was the last issue that I needed. It's taken forever to get my hands on it. I don't know why this one has been so difficult. I see the other ones. Yeah, I like them too. I've got a couple. I think they're pretty great. I'm not sure what the story is with this one, why this was so hard to find. I assume it just comes down to they didn't print a lot of them. But I'm glad that I found this because I really want to read this 3rd volume. I slammed on the brakes for the 1st volume of Call. I just kind of stopped. It was just getting a little too repetitive. Not to say that this won't, but I'm hoping that this kind of changes gears a little bit for me. I just couldn't keep going with it. It started to feel like a slog reading the rest of the last few issues of that 1st volume. I'm sure I'll come back to it, but it was just kind of grinding me down, bro. So a couple of Air Cell titles. I was telling Colin about this already. This is volume 3 of Samurai. Again, an issue number 1, which I'm surprised. But I guess maybe I'm also not surprised, seeing as it's Samurai from Air Cell. So there you go. There's a look at the interiors of that one. I absolutely put the blame for my kind of rediscovery and fixation on Air Cell on loading the cannon. Colin, this is all your fault. But now I go out there and I look through bins and I see them. It's like they jump out of the box at me when I'm flipping through. This is 1988. And like I said, I'm pretty sure this is volume 3. It doesn't say in here, but I'm pretty sure when I punched it into CLZ, it came up as volume 3. Yes, I know you are. And then also from Air Cell, this is Greenhaven, issue number 3. So what do we got inside here? We got some color work with some kind of creepy child-looking elves or whatever. So some interesting color on this one. Looks like a Canadian cartoon, like the Raccoons or something. When I was growing up, it has that kind of what was it, Filmation? I wish DaCosta was here, he could tell me. I'm pretty sure it was Filmation. Was it though? Maybe I'm wrong about that. DaCosta, if you watch this in the future, put it in the comments there. A couple of issues of Yang, slowly but surely, just chipping away at this. I've got a few issues at this point. I haven't read them all. I've read just one or two. So I'm waiting. I'm just going to be patient and wait. So issue number 6. And I think this was the last issue number 17. Little beat up, but that's okay. One of those books that you see in dollar bins that I have no idea. Dark Line is the company. 1987. Oh, this is, oh, well, there you go. I hadn't read that in Disha yet. Tales with a Twist. Charles A. Wagner's Dark Side, with a fantastic cover. Again, it's one of those books that just jump out at me anyway. And it says inside, Dark Side is published quarterly by Darkline Publications out of Peru, Indiana. So there you go. And it looks great. Did I say what year? 1987. Yeah, the cover is fantastic, Miss. So I agree. I love that lettering. I love that it looks a little dodgy. But yeah, the interiors don't look too bad either, if I'm honest. They look all right. And I need this as well. Dark Adventures. So this will be a checking out my comic shop to check out Dark Line and what else they've done. But I really dig that as well. Another Eclipse title that I'm very, very slowly chipping away at. Zot. They don't pop up too much, to be honest, when I'm out there digging, even when I do see some Eclipse. This is issue number 25. This is near the end of the run. Maybe it went 30. I don't remember how many issues it went. But this is Scott McCloud doing his superhero character here, Zot. I've never read a single issue of Zot. I think I have. Do I maybe have the first 10 issues or something? I don't know. I think I've got a few of the early issues anyway. A nice chunk, but I've never sat and read an issue, to be honest. So maybe it's about time. Then Crazy and Ignatz on the back. Another great indie from Exeter Entrance Studios. And this is from right there in that prime. This is 1986. Look at this goddamn cover. The Saga of Elf Face. So if you thought that was good. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So it went longer than I thought. Yeah. If you think that's good, check out that back cover. And if you think that back cover is good, check out this goddamn inside art. That's the sweet spot, man. It's 1986, Colin. It's the year. And look at this fucking thing here. Look at this guy. Where's that other? There was another panel that, yeah, here it is, this page. So that's pretty great there. And then in the foreground, we get our person, creature, character, whatever, getting shot and stabbed in the neck. Did they throw a shooting, probably a Chinese star or something? Yeah, there you go. Of course they did. That is an image and a half. That's fantastic. I think there's a couple of different artists in here because things start to change halfway through. Yeah, no, it really does, Colin. It's I'm glad I found this. So I think this is some, and if I didn't say it already, this is issue number 3. So the fuck, man. Look at this. Like, what is this even? This is a crazy. Yeah, crazy. So the Saga of Elf Face. Killer. The Chronicles of Corum, the King of the Swords. Yeah, King of the Swords. Magnolia covers. Does he do interior art as well? Just 2 issues of this one. number 9 and 10. Mike Barron, writer. Ken Hooper, pencil. Oh, Kelly Jones doing inks on these ones. On that issue, I'm assuming it's the same on this one too. Yeah, same creative team on number 10 as well. So issue number 9 with the Magnolia cover. Ken Hooper and Magnolia, sorry. Doesn't look horrible inside. I'm not a huge fan of the coloring on these first comics publications, and I'm not a huge Michael Moorcock fan either. But there's Grim Jack again. Everybody ripping off Tim Truman. I hope he got kicked back. Get him a chance to buy another guitar. So there's that one, and then issue number 10. Not in any rush to collect the rest of those, but you know, cheap. The original Dick Tracy by Chester Gould, issue number 1 from Gladstone. I guess Gladstone did a chunk of color reprints of Dick Tracy stuff. So this is Dick Tracy versus Miss Pruneface. Once I got it home, I'm pretty sure I have this, or I had this. If I don't have this, this might have been mine that I traded away, and now it's ended up back in my possession. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't dug through. It wasn't in my CLZ when I went to enter this stuff, and I haven't dug through the drawers yet to see if it's there. Yes, Miss So. I don't know a lot of Dick Tracy, but I do know that they're a lot of fun to look at, and I'm looking forward to it. I've got one Treasury side Dick Tracy, and the art is really just fantastic. So this can definitely be one that comes with me to read in the car. Some light reading. 5 issues, good to know. I'll keep my eyes open. And then finally, for this dollar bin, before we get into the small stack of kind of adult comics that I found at the same place in a separate long box, something from Kitchen Sink by an artist named Tom Webb Scott. Do you know this, Colin? This is Motherless Child. I think it was a one-shot. The cover really drew me to it. Kitchen Sink, of course, also drew me to it. But then I had to flip through, and I really loved the interiors. This is 1992. I mean, look at this. This stuff looks beautiful there. But there's even more back here. This is what I saw when I first kind of flipped it open. Like, really beautiful stuff. Never heard of it. Never seen it around ever. Again, I feel like Kitchen Sink is another company that just has a ton of stuff out there. Like, look at this. Really, really great. It looks like most of the pages are kind of 1 or 2 big panels. So probably a pretty quick read. Yeah, and then this stuff too. Some more stylized kind of caricatures and things mixed with this kind of hyper realistic, beautiful lighting and everything. Like, it really, really nice. So excited about this one. I love the mixing up of the styles too, or the mixing of styles too. He had a long box he was telling me about when I bought these. He asked, he saw the air cells in there. He's like, hey, so are you into, like, are you interested in any of the kind of adult air cell titles and Omaha, the Cat Dancer and things like that? I'm like, I'm always interested in looking at dirty comics. So he had a long box filled with them, well, almost filled. And I started flipping through them. And there was a lot of really good stuff in there. There was a lot of stuff too. It was probably 50-50. As much as I do like the adult stuff, and I am interested in air cell, there was a bunch of air cell adult stuff it was just too shitty. Even for, it wasn't the type of shitty where it had character and something that was unique that drew me to it. It was just that kind of shitty that was also just kind of uninteresting. But that said, though, he had some Eros titles. He had a bunch of stuff in there. So I pulled out a small stack of books, and he gave me an amazing deal on stuff, as he always does. He's a hell of a guy. He's a really nice guy. I've been dealing with him for a long time. I mean, he's kind of a staple in the Winnipeg comic groups here. So shout out to Dan and Madcat Comics. Finally, the collected edition of From the Darkness. He actually had 2 copies, one that was in much rougher shape than this one. So I plucked this one out of the bin. I am so excited to have this. This is absolutely coming on the camping trip with me. I have 2 of the single issues. There was a 4-issue mini series for this first one. And then what was it? A 3-issue mini series for the second volume, Blood Vows. I am really looking forward to getting into this one. Even on my comic shop, I don't think they ever have had this in stock. So to see 2 in the bin, and of course, for those of you who hadn't seen the video way back when I first discovered this book, this was the thing that drew me in. Oh boy, you're probably not going to be able to see that, are you? Yeah, no, you probably won't. It says midnight, September 11th, 1990, Manitoba, Canada, which is where I live, Winnipeg, Manitoba. So that was the first thing that drew my attention to this book. And then that first issue, when I found this first issue and read it, it was actually a pretty damn good first issue as well, too. Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's very true. You know, I mean, we're there for 10 nights. So I think I'm going to have a lot of time. I tend to plow through some comics pretty quickly. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm so incredibly excited about this one. I'm so glad that I finally have a chance to read all of this stuff. And I just got the last issue from Blood Vows, the second volume, on one of the my comic shop orders as well too. So now I can read the whole damn thing, and I surely hope that it's good. And then in the world of #1 issues still around, the not this one, but the next one that I'm going to show you blows my mind that I found a #1 of it. Yeah, 10 days is a long time, absolutely. We leave on Sunday, and then we come back a week from Wednesday, kind of thing. So 10 nights total. Something called Bloodlust from Slave Labor Graphics. Beautiful cover. This was in the, so I guess fair warning. Get your kids, get them around the screen. We're about to see some boobies and probably penetration. So get the relatives, call the priest, gather round, children. So it looks great though. There's actually not as much nudity in this as I thought there was. Actually, there's nothing that I'm seeing. So anyway, maybe it just got misfiled, mislabeled into the dirty bin because of the cover, and then that was it. Or unless the collection that he bought might have been all of this stuff from one person. This is the one that I can't believe that I found a copy of. Well, there's a lot of stuff I can't believe I found copies of, but I can't believe he had a Naughty Bits #1 in that bin for $1. I only have a couple of Naughty Bits comics. Roberta Gregory from Fantagraphics Books. I cannot believe there was a #1 issue. When I do see these, they don't go for cheap. This Naughty Bits stuff. Very, very excited about this one. Bitchy Bitch is the character. So this is what year? 1990. Oh, it actually has it copyright 1990 Starhead Comics. So it must have been on that Starhead imprint that they had for a little bit. I don't know what I think maybe was Starhead. Maybe Colin, you know this. Maybe Starhead was probably the more comedy stuff, maybe the cartoony comedy type of vein of Fantagraphics. Monster being kind of the horror and stuff like that, and Eros being the adult stuff. So yeah. And then another one, surprise, so damn surprise. I actually have number 2, but I bought issues number 1 and 2 anyway. It's always good to have a second copy. This is Butterscotch from Milo Manara from Eros Comics, issue number 1. Yeah, another one I never see around. Presented. Okay, yeah, you could be right. I thought they were an offshoot of Fantagraphics, but they could have been their own thing that maybe Fantagraphics bought up. Maybe they bought up the titles, and that's maybe where my memory is getting things mixed up. This is gorgeous. It's Milo Manara. Yeah, I follow him on Instagram as well. I'm pretty sure I follow him on Instagram. He's really great. He's just got some beautiful women, beautiful line work. It's fantastic stuff. So issue number 1, and this one, like I said, I already have a copy, but I grabbed it anyway. This is issue number 2. This one, the cover is actually separating, so that might go in the gift pile. And again, another surprise. This was 3 issues. He had number 1 and number 3. This is Robert Crumb's Id. He sure does, Jeff. Hello, Jeff. This is Robert Crumb's Id. Not the biggest. It's not that I don't like Crumb. I really like Crumb. I think his stuff is great. I'm not the biggest Crumb completist. I'm not out there diving for his stuff. But I couldn't pass these ones up. And again, like I've said before, Eros is just, you don't see them out there in the wild. You just don't see Eros stuff out there. It's not, I think when people get rid of comics, Eros, for the most part, probably ends up in the trash with their Buttman and other porn mags. Not that I know what Buttman is whatsoever. So, yeah, that's probably what happens to a lot of that stuff. And then issue number 3. There you go. And it's like yeah, exactly like you're saying. It's always, I think it's worth it, especially stuff like this. I think it's fun. And what I didn't realize is, because I haven't sat and looked through all of this stuff yet, so this looks like it's mostly kind of sketchbook things, hey? I guess I thought that it was going to be comics as well too, but it's not looking like it. There you go. So that's Id. Another one from Eros. Never heard of it. This is Marooned. Oh, look at that. It's a grass green cover. Yeah, grass green. Underground Comics artist. I guess I didn't notice that. Does he do everything inside? Maybe the whole damn thing. Yeah. The whole thing is grass green. Well, what do you know about that? Writer and artist Richard Grass Green has been drawing comics since he was 4. Jack Kirby was a prime influence, and in the 60s, Green set out to draw superhero comics. Yeah, because I think it's, is it Soul Jive Comics, I think is his, one of the undergrounds that I have, that's his. After putting in time with Charlton, he discovered underground comics. My mind exploded, he said. He was won over by the chance to do the kind of sexual fantasies everyone thinks of. Hundreds of pages came from his pen in the 70s, and he became the best-known black cartoonist in underground publishing. So there you go, Marooned. Well, that's a nice surprise. I did not register that when I picked this up. I saw Eros, and I grabbed it. So that's cool. Little ad on the back, too, for some Eros titles. Yet another one I was surprised that was in there. I think this was the only one. This is the Collected Purple pictography by Vaughn Bode and Bernie Wrightson. I think the Kayfabe guys might have looked at this on their channel. I'm really excited to have this. This is beautiful, beautiful stuff. So there's some Wrightson. This is so great. So, oh, look at that. It's a Tundra logo on the back there too. One of those books in that small stack that you just never think you're going to find. So very, very excited. It's got some wear and tear on it, but whatever, man. A fucking dollar. A Canadian dollar, that is. A Canadian dollar. Not those American dollars. This is Revelry from Hell. Wilbur, this looks like it's 1990. The wrenching story of a macabre atrocity that swept a fashionable girls' school with hell's blackest passions. That is a write-up. That's exploitation movie write-up to the 10th degree. Let's see. Adapted by Ron Wilbur. When the girls were gone, the crowd was not yet satisfied. Their bellows and yowls in demand for more mad exhibitions of mindless torture filled the night and made the darkness vibrate with their senseless lust. That is unreal. Ron Wilbur, you know the name. Look at this. It's beautiful stuff. I'm very excited about this one. But yeah, this is, oh man, look at this. Good grief. Yeah, exciting as hell. Looking forward to that one. So there you go. Almost second last, but certainly not least. 3 of 4 issues. Oh yeah, okay. Have a few Eros comics by me. Can really draw. Excellent. 3 of the 4 issues of a comic called Spank. I thought I had this issue. I don't seem to have it. So I'm glad that I picked it up again. This issue 1, issue number 2. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then issue number 4, right? Yeah, issue number 4. So there was only 4 issues of this. Let's have a flip through the inside here. Oof. Spank, kill Spank. Oh my gosh. Written and illustrated by M. Scott Campbell. 1991 is when this is. Looks very unusual. Speaking of unusual, this is I've got this one. Res Reeds helped me out with Spank is Eros. Yeah, it absolutely is. Res Reeds helped me complete the run of this box. And it's a little twisted piece of comic as well too. So looking forward to this one. Very similar looking characters. Good old Eros. You don't know what the hell. I think this one, he might have had a couple of doubles of one of the issues in that box. That was the other thing about this stuff that I looked through. There was some doubles, including there was a doubles of one of these that I'm going to show last here. Again, never, I have these downloaded and I've read a bunch of them. I haven't read the whole thing yet. I never thought I would find, yeah, I mean, there's so many finds of the century, it feels like, but I found 2 issues of fucking young witches. Like, good grief, man. Never thought I would find them. I love the stuff that I've read so far. The art is phenomenal. This is 1991. F. Solano Lopez and Barriero The Young Witches, written by Barriero, illustrated by F. Solano Lopez, translated by Sonia Jones, lettered by Bill Spicer, published by Gary Groth and Kim Thompson. I think this one had a couple of close-ups. Yeah. Beautiful. Look at that. It's great. Really great. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I'm so damn blown away that I found a couple of issues. Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. That's awesome, Miss So. I'm glad you dug it. Beautiful. Such great art, man. Yeah, I tried to make a deal with him for the box of comics. It didn't quite work out. I would have taken everything, even the stuff. Like I said, I think he had the whole "I Want to Be Your Dog" series was in there, which I already have, but I don't mind having doubles because I'm sure I could pass them on to some people as well too. I don't remember this from the digital that I downloaded. Much softer look on this stuff. I don't remember it being included in there, unless I didn't read up to this point, because I think this is issue 2. I might have only read the first 2 issues digitally and didn't go any further. I know this stuff got collected too, and you gotta love all the ads in the back too, just for the other titles. Yeah, this one, I feel like this is a comic I've seen the ad for a number of times, but I will never see it in person. Yeah, I mean, this stuff people just don't give up. They bring it to their dirty grave. And this is issue number 3. Issue number 3? Yeah, so 3 of 4. Yeah, there is a lot of Young Witches. I remember, because I think the file that I downloaded had a boatload of stuff. I think I might have found a couple of different Young Witches files, to be honest. But that look in these women's faces is just extraordinary. Burning through you, like off the page. Yeah. I mean, I may do a bit of digging. He was open to some trading. I just don't have a ton of stuff to trade right now. I don't. And I mean, you know, as much as I love this stuff, there's only so much I'm going to trade for it, you know. And I understand it's trying to find that balance with people when you're offering up stuff to trade. Obviously, he's not going to just take the shit that I have, because trust me, I tried to. It wasn't shit. I shouldn't say that. There was some really good stuff in there. There was even some kind of newer books that I just had doubles of in there that I think he could probably sell. But what do I know? I don't know shit. And he was saying it would just it was stuff that would kind of go back into his $1 or $2 bin. So it wasn't really stuff that he would move. And he said to me, he's like, you're kind of one of the guys that would buy this stuff. The only reason I would get it from somebody would be to sell it to me and this other guy in town, Jonathan, who we've kind of sold comics back and forth to each other. But I would like to try to get my hands on the rest of that box, or at least kind of flip through it again, because there was a few things that I left behind because I only had so much cash with me. So I just kind of grabbed the stuff that was really high on my list of things that I wanted to make sure made it to my house as opposed to someone else's. So maybe I'll go back and see what else he has and see if I can offer him something up. Right on, everybody. So that's it. That's the look at the books. If you haven't watched For the Love of Comics, he's in the States visiting his sister, and I guess he gets a lot of stuff ordered to her house, and it's been, I think he said, 3 years since he's been to visit. So he's done a part 1 of an unboxing of all of the stuff that he has amassed over those 3 years into her closet. So he's kind of releasing that in, I think, a 2-parter. Amazing. There's a lot of just really great stuff that he's pulling out and showing off. He's just really quickly showing stuff off, not talking about it in too great a depth, but it's always worth looking. I love me some haul videos, and when they're that epic in size, I'm even more excited and interested. So, all right, everybody, thanks very much. Miss So loading the cannon. Thanks for hanging out and chatting, and we'll see you all in a couple of weeks.